Aged 11, I was taken to the local cinema by my parents to see the latest Hollywood hit, Jaws. Like everyone there, I was utterly engrossed in what I was seeing before me. Then this happened. I jumped, like the entire audience jumped. I had no idea that a lady called Verna Fields, working together with a young Steven Spielberg, had made us all jump out of our seats like that. Verna's editing on Jaws won the Academy Award.
Verna Fields for Jaws!
This is one of the few times you'll ever see or hear Verna on film.
First, I want to say that giving me this, I consider a great tribute to our wonderful, fabulous, talented director, Steven Spielberg. I would also like to say that being here at this time, after all these years, I really have a long list of thank yous, which I won't bother you with. But I hope everybody on that list, primarily my two sons, I say thank you.
Despite the win, she is only granted 35 seconds in the 50-minute making-of documentary. Accordingly, her name is unlikely to stick in the mind of the public as much as Richard Dreyfuss or Roy Scheider. But her peers wouldn't forget her, and in 2012, Jaws was rated 8th in the American Cinema Editor's Top 75 edited films of all time. Verna entered the business via an infatuation with editor Sam Fields. A filmmaker called Fritz Lang spotted her hanging around his studio and set her to work as an assistant on his film The Woman in the Window, and a career had begun, and so had a marriage and a family. But tragically, Sam died way too young in 1954, aged only 38. Now, bringing up young children single-handed, Verna was able to continue working as a sound editor, cutting Saturday morning TV shows like Death Valley Days, with flexible hours so she could be around the kids. When she was able, she returned to the feature film business as a sound editor, notably on Anthony Mann's epic El Cid. During a stint as a teacher at USC, she met student John Milius, a connection which would eventually lead her to Peter Bogdanovich.
My first film was Targets, and I had learned, I worked on a film with Roger Corman first called The Wild Angels, and the editor of that film, Monty Hellman, didn't do a very good job with the footage that I shot. So I said to Roger, it's all cut wrong. He said, well, then you fix it, you cut it. And I said, well, I don't know how to cut. He said, well, go down, Dennis will show you how to do it. And so I went down to see Dennis, and Dennis showed me how to use the Moviola and how to use the splicer, my sequences for The Wild Angels, and Roger put them in the picture, and that was it. So the next picture, that was the first picture I worked on, but I didn't direct it. I directed some of it. And then I did this picture of Targets, which Corman financed. And he didn't want to pay for a sound crew all the time, so we shot a lot of it, most of the action actually, is silent. Then I hired Verna, who was at that point noted as a sound editor, and somebody's recommended her.
She put in all that sound. Everything in the freeway sequence was shot silent, and she put it in later. She had, I think, 28 to 30 tracks running at the same time. It was quite an elaborate job she did.
Hey!
He did an extraordinary job. Okay, comes the last picture show, and she was doing something. She was shooting some government stuff. She wasn't available to do the sound or the picture, and so I again cut it myself. Because Verna didn't actually cut any picture of mine until What's Up Doc. But I hired her for What's Up Doc, and she wasn't a picture cutter at that point. She was a sound editor.
In fact, Verna had edited several films, albeit of a slightly obscure nature, as far back as 1960, including The Wild Racers for Roger Corman, no doubt where the recommendation to Peter came from. She also cut the controversial political drama Medium Cool for cameraman-director Haskell Wexler in 1968, the same year as Targets. But back to Peter.
I hired her for Doc, and she did a good job. Now, the thing is, because I had cut my first two pictures myself, Wild Angels, I absolutely couldn't stand to have anybody cut the material any differently than I would cut it the first time. So I would mark it on the film. I would actually mark S for start, make a big C for cut, and take that frame out. So this worked for a while. And then Verna says to me, she says, "I don't know, I'm not doing anything." She says, "You're cutting the picture." On Doc, she made some suggestion. We had a problem. I can't remember what the problem was now, but we had a problem. We couldn't fix it, and she came up with the solution. And I said, "See, you just earned your whole salary." And that's what happened. That happened on Daisy Miller, and it happened on. She always was able. Every picture we did do together, she would have at least one suggestion that was great and that saved our ass. It's great to have her around. She was very encouraging and very, very good. Both on What's Up Doc and Paper Moon, I cut them myself, and but by the time we got to Daisy Miller, she was cutting it on her own. So
Oh no, thank you. I like it ever so much more watching you drive around with it.
Oh, do get in and drive about with me.
That would be charming, but it's so fascinating just as I am.
Well, it may be fascinating, my dear, but it's not the custom here.
Well, it ought to be then. If I didn't walk, I'd expire.
Well, you should walk with your mother, dear.
With my mother, dear. My mother never walked 10 steps in her life. And then, I'm more than 5 years old.
Working with Bogdanovich led to other opportunities. She co-edited the hugely successful American Graffiti with Marcia Lucas, though in the hour-and-a-quarter making-of documentary you'll find no mention of either name. In 1974 came her first collaboration with Steven Spielberg, his cinema feature debut, The Sugarland Express.
Hold it! Maxwell, come back! Wait! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Shoot! You son of a bitch! Stop! Stop! Hold your fire! We're Patrolman Slide, Texas Department of Public Safety!
So, an exciting action scene, but let's take a closer look at what's going on here. To study editing, any scene, any film, it helps to turn the sound off. The first shot is a camera move, but then look how quickly the cuts come. Notice also how many different camera positions Spielberg has set up. That's 15 cuts in as many seconds. And this shot is longer, as we know reloading is going to give them a brief respite from being shot at. She was the natural choice to work on his follow-up, Jaws. Here's Verna's 35 seconds of fame.
There was a million ways to put the film together. Verna Fields made an incredible contribution with the editing of the picture.
Verna was great. We used to call her, our affectionate nickname for Verna Fields was Mother Cutter. And it was frustrating for Verna. She never had enough film to cut because I was only getting, on a good day I get 5 shots, on a good day at sea, 5 shots. Verna didn't have the film until we finished the movie. That's when Verna's workout started, and Verna and I worked every day on the picture at her house in her little cutting room by the pool. And she did a great job.
Believe it or not, this was where the scene of the head coming out of the boat was shot. Her son Rick, who had acted as assistant to Spielberg during filming, took up assistant editor duties. Let's take an in-depth look at a long and brilliant scene from the film, which Spielberg has designed really as a short film within the film. There's lots of little stories going on here. Number 1, the boy who doesn't want to come out of the water. Spielberg is famous for his one-ers, long takes, in which the framing of the characters in the scene and the movement of the camera act as natural edits, in camera, without breaking the continuity of a single shot. The camera tracks to story 2, Brody, the watchful police chief, who suspects there's a shark out there. Now we're cutting. Stories 3 and 4, the large lady floating and the teenager with the dog, who actually were both there at the very beginning. Coming up next is one of those great moments that really good editors seem to pull off, where a movement crossing in front of the camera disguises edits to closer shots. Most people don't notice. Now, through Brody's eyes, the first moment of suspense. Actually, even if you've seen this scene many times, as I have, it's still entirely suspenseful.
Now, today? Well, make it fast. Maybe he's feeling it. Yeah, well, don't bother him today. Okay. Come right back.
Hey, Mike.
Story 5, the other problems of being a police chief, interrupted by a false alarm.
Parking in front of the house, I can't get down to the office, and that garbage truck next to the office has got to be moved.
So what I need is a red zone. It's a simple thing you can take care of. You've done it before.
Would you come here a minute, please?
Anyway, you get the idea of how this all works together so beautifully, so I'm going to shut up now and let you do the work.
Fine, fine.
Listen, if the kids go in the water, it's worrying you.
No.
And they can play out here on the beach.
All right, let them go.
It's cold. We know all about you, Chief. You don't go in the water at all, do you?
It's some bad hat, Harry.
Chief Brody, you are uptight. Yes. Come on. That's it.
Pippet! 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 Come on, Pippet! Pippet!
Remarkable stuff, and we haven't even left the relative safety of the shore yet. Footage shot over 4 months at sea had to be spliced together to look continuous. In all, 400,000 feet of film had been exposed during filming. If you pay careful attention, the skies at sea change appearance from shot to shot, but no one ever notices. They're more concerned with the duel between man and shark.
Trying to go under. I tell you, he can with 3 barrels on him. Not with 3, he can.
There's a feeling of movement in telling a story, Verna said, and there is a flow. On Jaws, each time I wanted to cut, I didn't, so that it would have an anticipatory feeling, and it worked.
You ever have one do this before? No.
Throughout the chaotic filming and editing of Jaws, Verna had quietly impressed Universal executives Zanuck and Brown with her role as the go-between for producers and crew. They no doubt were also interested in her associations with these huge box office successes. They recognised a talent that extended beyond editing and offered her the role of President of Feature Production at Universal, in which role she acted for the next 6 years. It made her one of the most powerful women in Hollywood. It was in this capacity that she oversaw the production of Jaws 2 and helped reduce tensions between director Janot Swark and star Roy Scheider, on one occasion helping to break up a fight between them by sitting on them. Verna herself died too young at 64 in 1982. Her son Rick, now himself a lead editor, continued a family tradition by cutting 2 Peter Bogdanovich pictures, Illegally Yours and the Last Picture Show sequel Texasville. Whether Peter continued to indicate S for start and C for cut, we have still to discover.